for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift and hope that you'll take it into.
Because I like to ask this question because in the dreams there is the apparition of the real you, which is, I think, is different from the personal self that you hold. So what I want to know is, who are we to look up to? Are we looking up to the physical Numan, or to the real side Numan? Because it is the real side Numan who is of who is doing all the things that even startle the physical Numan. But I think you've not yet met this distinction. So I want to really ask, who are we to look up to? It boils down to the old theory of the two faces of the master.
Well, again, that's no reference. That's what Paul used, the two faces of the master. Okay, so again, see, Paul was doing elementary school, is what he was doing. He was basically mimicking what had already been done before so many times, and just kind of put it together, and at the same time brought in this better understanding of these things with the true reality that he was connected with. And so it's not a matter of looking up to anyone, all right? Again, we're in the new nowness, and that is that what makes sense. So you're a school teacher, you have students, they come to you with questions and whatever. You provide assignments, they come to you with questions, they go through the process, etc. You see it right there. All of it is entailed, okay? So again, why are we here having this experience? Because this is a tough place, and this is where we should start to pay attention how tough and struggling we are here, and become motivated to better understanding more about life than just struggling lifetime after lifetime. So no, all of it's important, and it's not a matter of looking up to anyone realistically. No, that's the old master idea. There's not an up or down to anything. This is all where we just become real and make sense of it. I'm a person, you're a person, but if there's to be anything that is to become known, it would be to where we can relate to each other, more so being to being with our real awareness, okay? This is what we're learning through this process. And yes, at the same time, we have the physical, but the physical is only going to last so long. That's all it is. No matter what attachments, ideas, memories, whatever, it's only going to last so long. And we can carry on with those things or carry them with us, but, you know, you will have reference to anything you need, but you don't have to carry it anymore, which is so cool, you see? And so, yeah, it's not a matter of looking up to anybody, me or the real side or whatever, or the guides or etc. It's a matter of making sense of things, and that is that, do you want to listen? Do you want real guidance? Do you want to be shown instead of self-deciding what everything is? Do you want to be shown what is real? Then go through the process, okay? And so just like boot camp, etc., you know, you go through the process. And, you know, when you've signed up for the military boot camp, you're pretty well willing to go through it. You don't like it? Of course not. We don't like a lot of things. I don't always like a lot of things that I'm going through, even on the real side, but I have to do it. I have to face up to it to where eventually I'm okay with it. See, I have to go through that process too. There's always more to it than here, but it's all the same. Now we're into the isness of things. We're not into separation. This is this and that is that. Like Paul referred to, using the ek term and then the cal. Paul brought in the cal idea. Even in foods, it's like, well, these are ek foods, these are cal foods, or whatever. Again, this is the elementary school stuff. Now it's all in isness. All creation is the same. You decide to do with what you will. And it's not that, even when I know people, I'm going to like them. It's not about like or dislike, but I have my preferences also, even here on the real side, but it's not about that either. Everything that I am doing is a reference to the is. And so this is the part to see. It's not about looking up to me or whatever, but these become confirmations that, yes, something is taking place, and the individual is the decider. See, is the decider. And this is, again, the support factor, because us supporting each other provides the reality that we are all equal. You might say, we'll use that idea. We are all equal. There's no difference between us, no matter if it's age or, color of skin or smarts, who knows more than anybody else. We're all free beings of real light already, and we're simply going through this process. So what's the idea of looking up to anything? It's not that. But at the same time, it does make sense to listen to somebody that does know something and make sense of something, but again, it's a decision each person makes. So again, I'm not creating this identity about myself. I'm just simply here, demonstrating what I'm doing to others, and they decide if they want to take part in it. So again, but it all entails everything. So the physical and the other side, but the real side, but it's all the same thing. It's just how you put it together. But Paul broke it down just like when we went to school. You're the school teacher. You break things down for people. And basically it's into opposites. Okay, this is this and that is that. But now we're bringing it all together because it's an isness, and it's just how you see it and approach it, and how creative you want to be with it. And this is where we all just, someone has to mute. This is where we all bring it together. So this is what differentiates us from everybody else. Mary Jane, you have to mute. Yeah, as soon as you come on, you want to mute each time. Be very aware of that. Yeah, Charles. So otherwise, things start to get funny. And this is where Harry got sucked in by Joni, because that's what she wanted. She wanted the personality worship so that she could control others. When people are focused on that personality thing only, it becomes one-dimensional, and they're easy to control. Just like the politicians, they do the same thing, you see. But here, it's not like that. That is not the idea. It's always referencing the is, and real guidance, real education, but you got to listen, okay? You have to sincerely listen, and you sincerely have to figure it out, just like the homework assignments you give to the kids. They got to figure it out. You're not figuring it out for them. But the bigger thing is again, we stand real with each other. We support each other. What makes sense, like a real family. Yeah, like a real community. So, yes, go ahead, Charles.
The new nowness, one has to really choose the words carefully in order not to let the old consciousness, the old ways creep in sneakily. See, and choosing these words is really a task. So sometimes, you just find yourself that you've said something that is old school before you realize it, because maybe you're looking for the appropriate words, appropriate terminology, which is not very forthcoming. So you just permit us, but at the same time, it gives you the opportunity to make these distinctions, which are very, very necessary for people to understand. There's no looking in either the direction, neither upward nor downward, but everyone is free. At the same time, you can listen to somebody who has known something a little bit more than you know. You're putting it very lightly. In fact, so that if somebody hasn't had a reference, say you come to elementary school, to nursery, elementary, to middle school, high school, one has not had some of this past stuff, you will not really understand what you're saying, because you're putting it so lightly and so self-abnegating, so that one will just gloss over it. But if you listen keenly and you have some references, then you know that this has been watered down to the lowest level, that it is even negligible, sounds even like nonsense, but it is very deep, because people are trying to think in terms of the master-student idea. Master should be authoritative in the way he talks, and affirmative and all that, but we don't find that in your speech. So someone may walk away without noticing that you said something that runs really deep. That's my observation.
Yes, thank you. Well, simply put, if you look at, it's really very simple. Just take a few moments to look at history and what you've come up through this lifetime. And it's more than evident that most people have been indoctrinated and conditioned to be told what to do. You see, you have to consciously recognize that. And that is the approach that most people have to this. They want to be told what to do. And Val's a good one. At a certain point, Val's funny. He says, well, you mean I have to do something? No, you don't have to, but you want to get going with this, the reality. This is the nowness of what's going on. Yeah. If you want to succeed in becoming totally free and totally aware and stand real with the all is and the real guides, you got to step up. No, it's not just chanting and singing and do a few things. You got to figure things out. You're facing the world, this realm, this galaxies, and all of creation. Are you ready to do that? This is where many times before you said no. And so, there's a much bigger picture here that is not seen. And so, again, most people are, and it's understandable. I get it. So this is why it takes a few minutes, and you should attend the Skypes. They're available all over the world. You should listen to the recordings. Paul did recordings, but nothing like this. Definitions, nothing like this. In other words, Paul basically used the old innuendos, the old references, to simply put it together to start something. That doesn't mean it's good, bad, or indifferent. No, it was the quality at that time. But for the new nowness, compared to the isness, the nowness that's being presented doesn't work, because those are just, those are nice statements, but, there has to be a reference to action here, something that you got to figure out. And so that's the fun part. That's what I like. I've always done that with my business and everything. Always taking the risk. And it comes out. I took the risk with the vessel project and everything else. I didn't ask the boys, oh, should I do this? I didn't ask them. I just did it. I didn't ask them for their approval or anything. I just did it. I made sense of it the best I can, and I learned myself by the decision that I had made with that, even the new presentation, everything. I didn't ask them. They just showed me the new you. That was it. Yeah, I had a lot of experiences. I wrote about those, but the end result was they showed me the new you, and I had to figure that out too. And then I added the you. Like I said, I did that. I took the risk. I didn't ask them, but they backed it. See, because it made sense. I figured out how to make sense of it. And so again, no, things aren't the same. And this is what people are looking for. They're looking, oh, it's like, what do I do? And many times as they come on the Skypes too. And this is why, the idea of the Skypes is to share. This is really, I've said this many times. Why are you here? The whole idea is to share. Yes, you're learning, but at the same time, be ready. What do they teach you in boot camp? Be ready. What's the Boy Scout mantra? Be prepared. Again, that's what they teach you in the Boy Scouts. All these little things, etc. It's all over the place. Who's prepared? Most people are so sedated by this system. Everything is so commonplace, and they're desensitized and self-satisfied. People don't really have an original thought or know what to do with their lives. A lot of these kids that go to college and that, you ask them, they don't know where they're going. They're just taking classes. To where? To nowhere. And even if they do get a degree, those that make it through, where are they going? To some cabal job to add to the destruction of the all-natural environment? That's real. And people praise their degrees. Oh, I got a bachelor's. Oh, I got my master's. Oh, I got my PhD. Great. Now you can add to the destruction and demise of the world. Good for you. Yeah. Now you can have your high-paying job and work for Monsanto. Yeah, or the government or something like that, some agency, which you think is really cool. Fine, have fun. I'd rather take the risk and present the boys and the all is and surpass all of this. And so again, yes, most people want to be told what to do, Charles, and to let them know that no, there's no authorities here. We don't tell people what to do. But we do give suggestions as to how to succeed with a real life. That's what I'm doing. And so again, the focus is the all is. And again, the easiest way to start is the new you, read the books. And a fun part is learn to, shine like the sun and learn to recognize what the sun is demonstrating. That's only the first part. Then from there, when you even possibly recognize that, good luck. Okay, from there, then you take the next step to recognize what everything isn't. And how is it that you can consider this reality when it cannot be considered? Can you do that? You see, there's a lot more. So, yes, we're in the lower trenches of a dark realm, which is black. And yes, people have been trained. This is what the elites want. They want people. This is what when they're going to school, they're told what to do. Oh, you do your homework assignment, you bring the assignment back. Okay, good, I'll give you an A on this. Oh, yeah, then you go home and tell your parents, well, after you went through that a whole lifetime, you're indoctrinated again, like from past lifetimes. So you're always looking to be told, aren't you? Yes, and even if you're working for yourself, you're not. You're still in the prison yard. You're still in human farming land. It's still all the same. Here is something that is so special and unique and makes sense, but I'm limited by words too. So all I can do is create reference. Yes. I don't make it into, oh, this is a doctrine and these will become sacred words at some point. You put it in your microwave for 30 minutes and you pull it out and then all of a sudden it's sacred writing. I don't think it's going to look too good, the book, after 30 minutes in the microwave. But, this is what people are thinking. We're in the microwave generation. Instantly, all of a sudden, oh, it's sacred writings. This is what the corporation and others do. All of a sudden, everything that Harry's saying, which is just old nonsense, is sacred writings. Well, and then you can charge more money for it because now it's sacred writings. And all that goes to Joni's hidden bank accounts. How fun. Okay, if you want to play that game, go for it. But realistically, you have to. This is where you recognize as the people come to you, where they're at, and they decide, what is it that you want? You see? Is it you want just the knowledge? Well, take it. It's there. It's yours. You can have it. Some of it you pay for, or you find it on the internet somewhere and just take it and start your own thing or have your own life, whatever. But the end result of what I'm presenting here is I'm showing you how to stand real with the real guides and the all is, so that you are no longer the effect of anything, that you have a freedom and a real life that you can't even imagine is so real. It's so awesome. But you got to go through the process. So, yeah, there you go, Charles. Yes, most people want to be told what to do. And I don't want to sit here and tell people what to do. I'm doing what I'm doing, and, hey, figure it out or whatever. And if you don't, you don't. But you have to make the effort at least to figure it out too, you see. And so I give suggestions, but who's listening? And there are a few, fortunately. So Val and Kelsey and I and others, we're on this adventure, and that, like I said, that adventure will lead into another. These are steps we're going through. In the meantime, something to do. But you can't, and even when the Vessel Project is here and the universal community or whatever, I'm not going to be telling people what to do. They're going to have to figure it out. The first question I ask a person that comes up is what do you want to do? Okay? What exactly do you want to do? And that doesn't mean that I'm going to fulfill their wishes. That's not the idea. I want them to see, why are they showing up at all? Why does anybody show up to the Skype groups? What are you doing here? See, so that's the first step for you to wake up and realize, hey, I'm here because, well, then we take it from there, don't we? And we make sense of it to where eventually, if the person has a sincere intent, that's what it takes, is sincerity and a real intent to recognize that, to succeed with this, not just because you're collecting knowledge and you're being informed. No, that's just the start. That's not the end result. You want to be like Superman? Well, figure it out. You can be. But again, you have to go through the process. You have to start somewhere, and you have to decide every step, every moment. You are totally aware every moment of every action and every idea, and you recognize what you're relating to and how you're relating it to, whatever. Yes, so everything, I try and relate everything I can, but many times I have to just give hints because people can't take it direct. They can't take it direct at all. So you give them little hints or this or that, or you say little things, or you just agree. Lots of times people say things and I disagree. It's like, okay, because they've already made their statement, So when people show up and basically they're saying, well, what do I do? Okay, they're really saying, well, what am I doing here? Well, you decided to come here. Do you have any idea at all? Just like if you want to become a doctor, do you have an imagination? Do you see yourself becoming the doctor? If you don't, how are you going to become the doctor? So what is it from what you've read or what you've referenced here? What is it that you're relating to? So you work off of that. But again, most people, they want to be told, and that's not what we're here for. We're not here to tell people. We're here to share and show them how life will show them what's real, and then they decide from there. You see, that's the fun part. That's the adventure, because it's unlimited. It's so unlimited. It's not restricted to just ideas. Ideas are references. That's all they are. We use them as references, not as realities. And this is where when people refer to the old ideas, God, spiritual, soul, and politics, religion, whatever, these are old, concrete, absolute, supposedly absolute ideas, and where do they relate to the whole of life? Guess what? They don't. Life does not recognize them. That's the most important thing. What is being presented here, the true reality of life is, recognizes it. And even if somebody copies it verbatim and puts it out there, it's according to the intent they have and sincerity that life will recognize it, or it won't. It's just a thing then, see? So keep that in mind too. Where's your sincerity? Where's your intent? Is it real? Or is it just to promote something, get this or that or whatever? And you can do that too, just like Joni is with the corporation. It's all about the money and the power and whatever. And that's all she'll have. She'll have nothing. She's already crying about the people that are leaving. I see her on the real side. All of them are. All deception shows up. Here's the idea. We don't need to deceive others. We don't need to try and get something that's not necessary, because it's not necessary. It's more fun to be real and to figure this out Okay, like when we were little kids, we went on our adventure and we just did all these funny things, and we weren't concerned about time or eating or anything. We're just on our adventure to figure things out, you see. And we'd ask our parents, "Gee, Daddy, what is life, or what is God, or whatever?" Yeah, we looked up to somebody because they were taller than us. That's for sure. But realistically, no matter what the answer was, hey, we just went off and did our adventure, didn't we? Until the day came when we had to go to school and do the routine, and then finally got through school, the drudgery of that, the 12 grades, basically. And then we had to either go to college or get our own job. And now we're in the society all drudged down. No wonder we can't figure out. No wonder it comes to a point where we want to be told what to do because we can't even think for ourselves. And yeah, it's a toughie because most people's imagination, you might say, they've allowed it to be stolen just as a start. And that only works in creation from your experiences and your imagination and everything. At some point, you should gain insight to where you become more intuitive, to eventually you take the big step and recognize your real awareness, and eventually the all is itself. So, do you have the courage to go through the process, to be shown what is real, and to take advantage of that and to step up and do something real? Go. Yes, everybody, it's all for you. It's always for you. That's why we're here. We're always here. Simply pay attention so you can have more fun with us. Thank you so much. Yes, we'll see you next week, Charles, and bring back your question, and let's see what happens, okay? It's going to be a surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, really. Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you so much. And again, keep in mind, it's always Saturday, so get ready.
Yeah, I would do the experiences as you said and forward.
Thank you so much. And say hello to Miriam. Is she going to be able to come on at all in the future here?
Yeah, that is. I see this silver lining in the cloud, the dark cloud already. The president of the Congo has announced that he's not going to seek a third term in office, which has been the reason for all the upheaval there, the agitation and the protests and the clamp down on protesters. So the president has backed down, so he will not run for a third term. So I think things will start normalizing there, since the way forward is well known now. So there will no longer be much agitation and much clamp down on the population. Things may come back to normal. The clampdown involves internet cuts and all that. That is what African dictators do when they want to control the masses. So they have to shut down the internet and do other funny things. So I think that is going to ameliorate with his declaration that he's not seeking a third term in office. So hopefully we could have Mariam back here and the rest of the African new friends, the Congo new friends. I mean, we're very specific because Congo is the one really, is the place that is really giving Africa the name. So we better start calling them the Congo new friends, because Nigeria, in spite of all the efforts, is just lagging behind. So how to call a spade a spade. The Congo new friends will be here as soon as things are fine for them, and hopefully in the near future they will be on this platform once again.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Maybe something fun will happen from all this. So, okay, we'll see you next Saturday. We'll see everybody else. And on Wednesday, we have the meeting with our Skype meeting with basically we're going over what's going on in the college. And then Thursday nights at 8, with Val and Lila, etc., and some of the kids here. We are going over the university, and so everybody's welcome to come, want to take part. So anyhow, okay, we'll see you soon. Thank you, Charles. We'll see you next Saturday.
Thank you, Duane. Thank you, everyone.